I am in here right now, none other than myself and my dog, who's actually on my lap while I'm driving. So I'm doing like 2 things at once, actually 3 things. Handling the dog, talking to y'all, and driving. No big deal though. It's not a big deal. This is kind of, this is like every day as usual. That's a bad signal. There's a bad signal. Oh, there is? It's not too great of a signal? What if I do this? Can you see me? Am I in real time? If I'm in real time, put a 1 in the chat. If I'm in real time, share with your friends and followers and fans. This might be something that they might be interested in knowing, especially if you're someone who has just started out in the online marketing world, or you're just trying to figure out how to market your products and services and business, coaching programs, etc., etc. If you're a coach, author, expert. I got a little cut here from a kid that threw like a little like wand at me the other day, so I have a little cut there. This is going to be about you. And the question that I ask you is this: do you need a website? Thoughts? Still sunny in LA? Not really. No, not really. In case you're going to the Periscope Summit. Yeah, I'm going. I'm speaking there. And we are going to be a panel there as well. And Full Scope is sponsoring as well. So why do kids throw things at you? I don't know. It just naturally happens. That's the deal of it. I have no idea. But let me pose this question to you. If you are someone who is doing stuff online, true or false? True or false, and put a T or F, okay? And don't swear, make it PG. T or F, do you think you need a website in order to sell your product and services on the internet? What do you think? Sorry, David. True or false? No, I'm not. I'm sitting in my car as it's moving with my foot on and off the gas. T, no, but it helps. True. So a lot of people are saying true that you need one. Someone said no. False. Okay, great. So I see mostly people that think true. Okay. Now do me a favor. Share this with your friends and followers and fans, guys. Share this with your peeps. Okay. Share this with your peeps. That's really what we want to do here. Okay. We want to share this. So be sure to share, because we're going to be talking about this. So the answer to this question that you might be having is it's false. You do not need a website in order to sell online. In fact, this is the truth of it. A lot of people, and here's an example. I have friends had a medical business, a medical company, and they never had an online, they never had a website. They only had a 1-page landing page that would collect leads in their business, okay? This is essentially them collecting opt-ins for their business, and that's all they had. Got smacked with the answer. Bam, bam, yes, exactly. They only had a 1-page opt-in page, and it led them to a webinar, okay, an automated webinar. And if you don't know about webinars, they're pretty much the thing to use when you're trying to sell anything online, right? They sent traffic to a webinar, right? From a squeeze page to a webinar. And on the webinar, they sold their products and services. How much do you think they sold within their first 12 months of being online or using that system? How much do you think they made? I want you to take just a guess as to how much you think that they made. That's what I'd like you to do. Take a wild guess as to how much you think they made. John Deere. Yeah, I got my John Deere hat. 50K, no. Keep guessing. 150K, no. 20K, no. 50 to 100K, no. Did they do SEO? 250K. David, 1.3 million. They made $1 million their first year. It's a medical toolkit. It was actually a physical product that they sold, okay? They used Infusionsoft as a CRM system. They used Easy Webinar as the webinar platform that would sell the product. And then they would get joint venture partners to promote it out to their huge lists. And it was a product that sold for $300. And this is what they did. What do you think about YouTube closing down later this year? I don't think YouTube is going to close down later this year. Unless you know something I don't. So anyway, they did this all before they had a presence, essentially a website. It's on CNN now? No, I'll have to look at that. It's all before they had an actual website. And the cool thing about this is that it could work in any industry, trust me. It can work in any industry. The cool thing about it is that only after that they said, you know what, now we want to work on a different strategy for actually creating content and positioning ourselves as the experts, the authority in this marketplace. And that's when they kicked it into gear and created a website that would brand themselves. Okay, how do you drive with all these distractions? You know, I can multitask, and I'm used to driving in LA. 200K web app, please use. How do I benefit from this? Please advise. You have 200,000 web app users. Are you monetizing them? If not, then you are someone who strategically should be partnering with someone who has a product that then can promote to those people, and that's affiliate marketing. And if you don't know about affiliate marketing, you should definitely connect with me, and I can kind of help you with that. So direct message me if you want to know more about that. But here's the thing, you don't need a website. All you need is a one-page landing page using something like lead pages, using something like ClickFunnels, and then boom, you know, you have a page where it can promote to, say, a webinar. As I mentioned before, on that webinar you sell a product and service or service, and you build your list at the same time. That's the idea behind it. That's how all this works, right? And you know, there are certain elements that you need. You need, you know, an autoresponder. You need a few other things just to get all that stuff laid out and ready to go. But you don't need a website. But I'm here to tell you that having a website, if you're trying to position yourself as a personal brand, is extremely important, okay? So I'm not going to tell you, no, don't get a website, but I am going to tell you that if you've been waiting to kind of get a presence online because of the fact that, you know, you're worried about whatever, maybe you're worried about, you know, spending the money on a website. You don't want to spend all the cash on a website. I'm parking right now, by the way. I would go with Aweber over MailChimp. If you don't want to spend the money on a website, you don't have to. You can actually start, you know, by doing a one-page landing page that offers, you know, a solution to a problem, and that's what your product is going to be. No, I'm not driving. I'm stopped. See, I'm stopped. I'm paused. See, my belt's off. I got my Detroit sweatshirt. So what I'm saying is, if you're worried about spending money on a website, I want you to get that out of your brain first off, because a landing page doesn't have to cost much. If you get lead pages, it can be literally $37 a month. You can get a WordPress site, install that on, you know, get a WordPress site, create a URL for your business, like mybusinessiscool.com. Get a WordPress site set up, add lead pages plugin to that site, have a landing page up. I'm waiting to eventually start my life coaching, and this is perfect info. Yeah, and lead pages, ClickFunnels, thank you so much. Right. Optimized Press is another one. These are all things that I use, and I know all the owners of them. Those are really great tools. You get your landing page up. Your headline is, hey, are you suffering from X, Y, and Z? I have a free gift for you, and this is what's called, you know, either a mini course. You give away a free gift, right? And then that's kind of the free gift is what incentivizes them to give you their email. You then nurture them through a process of like emails to follow up. I like to get them right onto a webinar after they come on to a landing page. They come onto a landing page. I then either send them in through a mini course where it's like 4 videos that will talk about why they, you know, how I can help them. They're 4 training videos that will help them. On the last training video, that's when I sell them my product. And 9 times out of 10, it sells very, very well. Hi, Casey. First time on your scope, but appreciate all the work you do with Full Scope. Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Woof! That's right. Awesome. Sorry, Wendell. You got freaked out when I said that. You talk smart stuff. Thank you. You talk smart stuff too. That wasn't a question. Or was it? Okay. If you guys are getting something from this, please click on this little dude. Follow me. Also, swipe right on an iPhone, up on an Android, and share this with your friends and followers and fans. please, please, please do so. And if you're new, I'm going to go back into some more strategy. Stick around, okay? I'm going into some more strategy stuff because I do want to talk about a website in a minute. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's like 5 things that you can do in a website that your website should have. 5 guys that your website should have. But the bigger thing, the more strategic thing, is a funnel. And that's what we've been talking about. A funnel is a landing page. A funnel takes them on a landing page, takes them into where they can get a free report. 4 videos that teach them something, or send them into a webinar. On the webinar, you sell them a product, and then you follow up with them on the email. When I first started doing this process of creating a funnel, not necessarily worrying about my website, my first year of doing this online stuff, I built up a list of about 14,000 people on webinars, and I did about $245,000 in online sales for an online course. It's essentially an information product, right? An IM product, information product, all about YouTube. That's what my first experience with doing this. I know what I'm talking about, but a website is important. A website is important, especially if you're trying to position yourself as a what? Who's been here and listening to what I've been saying? If you're positioning yourself as a what, why is a website important? That's the question. Expert. That's right. Besides an expert, personal brand, Tawana. Personal brand. Yes, an expert is that element. Yes, absolutely. But a personal brand. That's influence. The influencer model at that point. That's what you want. And it's if you're going to start a content marketing strategy, you're going to want a website because you're going to want a blog. And this is a perfect example of content marketing at its finest. You could create periscopes, put them on a blog, repurpose them and put them on YouTube, okay? Repurpose them and take the audio and put it on iTunes. Transcribe this sucker and put it in the blog, right? I'm not going to buy from a random person. Exactly. By doing this, you attract a new audience. They start to follow you. You start to teach them. You get case studies from them. You start to get in publications, okay? Try to get interviews. Try to guest blog some of my best stuff. The time that I was really getting ramped up was when I started guest blogging for places like Social Media Examiner and John Chow, and I did a Creative Live, okay? These are things that help you to position yourself as the expert. It's not enough sometimes for positioning yourself as a personal brand to just get the blog up. But if you are positioning yourself as a personal brand, then get the blog going, but only after you start to look at the possibility of building your list, okay? So here's the cool part of this. I could do a Periscope, and I don't have to have Casey Zeman online. I have it. If you guys go to it, you'll see it. But what I do is I send you to my landing page. So I send you here. This is what I send you. I say, you want to learn more about webinars? Go to WEBINARMINICOURSE.com. That's what I say to you, and that's the landing page that then you come into, and then you get my 4 video series. Or I say, go to CaseyZeman.com/webinar to learn more. Okay? These are landing pages. They're not even my website. I don't tell you to go to CaseyZeman.com when I want to teach you something and I'm trying to build my community, because if I send them to my website, there's a lot of stuff there that they can just consume, and they won't necessarily stick around to do a lot, right? The website's there after they become a lead, right? That's the kind of concept on that. Where do I get one set up? A landing page? Well, you go to, as I said, listen to this replay. I talked about 2 options: lead pages, ClickFunnels, actually 3, Optimize Press. You could even just get Easy Webinar, because Easy Webinar creates a webinar funnel for you automatically. And that's where, if you go to CaseyZeman.com/webinar, that's what that is, okay? So what are the things that you need for a website? If you're doing a personal brand, you're an expert author, someone who's doing coaching and consulting, and you want to position yourself as the expert, and you need that what authority, you need that what brand positioning, you're going to do these things. A good website, you could hire a copywriter, that's very true. A good website has this. Almost a similar concept to a landing page, to where if they come to your website, on your website, you have like a question that you pose to your audience. Something like, are you struggling with X, Y, and Z? sign up here to get into my next, workshop where I teach about this same problem that you might be experiencing, right? And that's probably an automated webinar. That's how I do it. If you go to my website, it will actually take you into two different places, two areas. You can either join my Facebook group, Tribe Minded, or you can join and learn more about webinars for selling your products and services online. Those are two things that I have right when you go to CaseyZeman.com. They're right at the very top. And then under that, there are a few categories. One of the categories are my products, okay? You click on products, it'll take you to a product page, okay? Another category is where we've been seen or been seen on, Been seen on is what publications have you been on? What, have you been on blogs? Have you been on any, magazines? So I have Entrepreneur, magazine on there, things like that. That's where I've been seen on. Okay. Thank you, Melissa, so much. And then, you also want to show testimonials or case studies. Okay. Like people giving you love. Excuse me. I almost swallowed my gum. Okay. People giving you love. So that's an area as well where you have maybe I would say probably 5 if you can. Testimonials or case studies of people who are loving you. Is Easy Webinar your site? Yes, Easy Webinar is. So for those that don't know, my name is Casey Zeman. I'm the founder of Easy Webinar and Fullscope.tv. They're both software that essentially help you to build a business and brand you love. They're marketing tools designed for you. Ella, take a break and have a water. Well, I only have my kombucha, so I don't really have the water. To John Deere. Yep, that's right. I got my John Deere hat on. Okay, so we talked about testimonials. We talked about seen on. We talked about products. We need to talk now about the About page. Bam! Sorry, Wendell. Wendell's freaked out when I do that. The About page is extremely important as well. Your About page is essentially all about you. You want to talk about your story. That's where your story comes into play. Not necessarily that, you have a master's from blah, 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 blah. That's not as important as you talking about your story. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you helping people out? How is it related to them? This is where, take and craft a good story as I started doing this. This is where I was having issues. Then suddenly I learned about this and boom, things changed in my life. And this is what I want to give to you. That's your About. Okay, so now we have your About page. We have, as I said, the testimonials, as seen in, and let's see, what else are we talking about? One last thing is this. Oh man, what is it? I had it in my brain, then I got confused. Oh, right, the content piece. This is where you then have either a blog or a podcast. And you can have a contact. Absolutely. A contact is good, but maybe on the contact page, you want to say hey, if you want to be a public speaker, maybe list out, things that you can speak publicly about, okay, in your contact page. If that's something, that's where you would put that speaker information, okay? But what you also want to have from this homepage, hub page, is a link to where the content would be, okay? So a link to your blog site. Now, how I do it is I actually have 3 different blogs that are directly on my home page, and any particular click will take you into one of my blog pages. And on my blog pages is where you create the content. So I have a podcast and a blog. Those are the 2 pieces of core content, and that's what you can do. Yeah, I have 3 different blogs because I have easywebinar.com/blog. I also have CaseyZemanOnline.com, and then I have CaseyZeman.com/podcast. Now, you don't need all 3. In fact, better to have 1 probably. But I have all 3 because I have content on all of those. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to roll them all on the one page. So don't do what I did. Do 1. Keep your life simple. 1 blog. One blog that can act as a podcast as well, and do it all from there. That's what I would suggest. Even if maybe you're going to do a podcast that's a different name, I still think it's all from one is absolutely fine. Don't confuse yourself. Don't give yourself too much things to think about. And also, don't think about the problems of I have this blog, I have a podcast, so I'm not going to do anything because it's too confusing. Just do 1. Just focus on 1, okay? So, those are, and there's one last thing I want to mention. So we talked about all of that. Yeah, this is English. I love when people say silly stuff like that. so we talked about all of, you know, as seen on testimonials, we the blog. We've talked about the opt-in to where they can get the free gift, right? We talked about the product page, the about page. Now we are talking about one final thing, which is a photo shoot. A photo shoot. This is the final thing that I have to mention. If you get a photo shoot done, it can do wonders for your brand. Also, if you can get a brand video, which essentially is you read from you go in and look at your about page and essentially take that, what you've written on the about page, and that becomes your video, okay? You essentially tell them your story on the brand video, right? Exactly. You become more professional. It's also you connecting with them on a visual level. A photo shoot is really, really powerful as well. It doesn't have to cost a huge amount of money either, you know, as well as a website. You don't have to spend a boatload of cash to get these done, but the photo shoot can go a long way. If you go to CaseyZeman.com and refresh the page over and over again, you'll see different photos that were taken for my photo shoot. And a photo shoot should exemplify your brand. It should exemplify the core pieces of your brand. So for me, I wanted to show trust and empathy. I wanted to show, professionalism. I wanted to show, you know, kind of like on the cutting edge of tech and things like that. So I have 5 different, and like public speaking, you know. So I have like 5 different looks that I did for my photo shoot. I did that, changed my hair, and now I have to do it over. It's okay. It doesn't matter if you change your hair. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. People got scammed by scammers who are no random people. I don't understand what that is. Anyway, that is what I would suggest. A photo shoot. Consider the different ways. Trust, empathy, professionalism, public speaking. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can say the name of your Photoshop site again. Photoshop site? I don't have a Photoshop site. I have a CaseyZeman.com as my main website. That you can see the different images that are on there. Just look at what I'm doing, and you can see the different types of images. So I also wanted to have a family shot. So there's me and my wife. We did that as something, and the dog, because I want people to understand that this is my life, and I want to show transparency. So that's what my Photoshop did. So maybe you're talking to somebody. Photo shoot is what he mentioned. Any recommendation? Yeah, photo shoot. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, only if you're in LA can I recommend something. Don't scope and drive, but Casey is very smart with his stuff. That's right. No, we're not driving. As you can see, hands-free right now. Anyway, I have to go because I have to help my wife with her Pilates gym right now. I have to kind of help, you know, we're getting it set up. We're opening up the studio in the second location here in Atwater Village. If you're someone from Los Angeles, you should definitely come to FitMix Studio in Atwater if you ever want to get like the killerest workout you're ever going to get. But I got to go. Wendell and I are like, we better get inside to help Mom out. So I'm going to go. Let's rewatch this. Share this with your friends and followers and fans, because I talked about some gold that you should really tap into. You need to not focus so much on worrying about if I'm going to have a website or not. Start with a landing page, start with a webinar, and grow from there. Much love. You guys are rocking it. I will be seeing you in San Francisco. If you're going to be there, I'll be at the Periscope Summit. Fullscope.tv is available to you. It's for free for anyone who's wanting to do marketing and analytics with Periscope. And if you want to learn more about webinars and the key tool that a lot of people use, like Amy Porterfield, John Lee Dumas, and et cetera, go to WEBINARMINICOURSE.com, sign up for my webinar mini course, and you'll get access to not only the training, and you'll learn about that tool and how you can use it. Okay, give me a elbow bump, boom, a virtual high five, and a head bump, bam, there we go. You guys rock. Talk to you soon.